Welcome back to the Super Not Funny Show reviews. And today I'm reviewing Foundation Season 2, Episode 6. It's entitled Why the Gods Made Wine, and it's coming to you from Apple TV Plus. So, what did I think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into this review, get down there, hit like on the video. Well, second half of the season is moving along at a pretty good, brisk pace. The Selden plan is in action as the crisis between the Empire and the Foundation starts to really kind of heat up. We saw in previous episodes as the Imperial, inquiry into the Outer Rim has sort of, started pushing the Foundation into making moves. And we saw previously that the Hari Selden on Terminus has pushed out some agents, and that's who we're following. We're following Polly Verisov and Brother Constant as they go to Terminus, to Trantor to kind of open up diplomatic relations with with the Empire. Meanwhile, Hover Mallow's off on his little jaunt into an unexpected part of the galaxy, and on Ignis, Hari, Salvor, and Gaal are trying to figure out what to do about this colony of mentalics and how they can turn them to the side of the Foundation and psychohistory. And I have to say, first of all, this was a really great episode, but man, they did some things I guess I really didn't expect to see. As a reader of the books for many, many years, I never expected to see Hari Selden be part of this, this story at all. But now that he's a part of it, it's really weird to see him in like mortal peril, because at this point they've changed enough about the story that I don't actually know where they're going aside from the larger, brushstrokes. So like as they've made it a lot more personal in here. So Hari Selden being a disembodied, entity within a, the Tesseract that is the, the Prime Radiant. He's stuck in there and for hundreds of years, and now he's in a real body, and now things are really very real. And seeing the, kind of the way Gaal is, I don't want to say Gaal's not manipulated. That's not quite what I'm seeing, but definitely being handled and groomed to be to take over this colony of mentalics. And it's interesting to see that yes, she and Salvor are both are mentalics in this way, and that their success at kind of turning everyone's towards the idea of psychohistory and the Second Foundation is important, but also that because Harry's not one of them, he can't be a part of it. And the solution to that was very, very brutal. And I kind of like the fact that, not necessarily everyone's safe, and you can't really trust everyone. And somehow we know that these mentalics are going to have to be a part of this future, crisis. But at this point, who even knows? Is the future actually in play, or is it set in stone? That's a kind of a big deal going on. Also, while all this is going on, Hover Mallow, he meets up with the Spacers. Again, a big change from the original novels. Very interesting change, but also very Dune-ish. This is very, let's say borrowing from Dune instead of saying stealing. So that, you have all of that going on. But back on Trantor, the politicking and maneuvering between Queen Sareth and, Demerzel and Day becomes quite big and quite interesting. I think we saw previously in the previous episode that, Day is kind of on, he kind of doing his own thing, and Dawn and Dusk are definitely feeling, unsafe, if you will, in what's going on. But Queen Sareth, man, she is something else. Like she is, more than a match for Day. If Day didn't have all of the rest of Empire on his side, she probably could kick his ass. But the way she really kind of wrong-footed him at his presentation of her to the galaxy as the new, soon-to-be empress was very interesting. She's doing that thing that could get a rope around your neck of upstaging the more powerful person, and in such a way that they can't really countermand or say anything against her. Very good. She wants to be a popular princess, but also she's again very much trying to find out if they really had her whole family killed just to get to her. And it's, I mean, of course we know yes, but she doesn't know for sure just yet. And making that maneuver, I like the way that Dusk was just like, saying, hey, maybe there's something here. Maybe we aren't stuck in like the worst possible situation of being irrelevant and pushed aside by theoretically ourselves. I like that quite a bit because politicking within the court is always a fun thing, and so I did also enjoy the whole bit with Polly and Constant kind of seeing Trantor. It's again borrowing a bit from maybe a little bit of Star Wars, where they go to this big city, big majestic city, and walk around a place they haven't really seen before, only heard of. Even if it does seem like in their eyes maybe it's not as it's not as advanced as it should be or something like that, but also just kind of knowing that they're on a holy mission and then completely getting hijacked in there, because they've been sent as what missionaries into a hostile territory, and maybe they are like the apostles, prepared to give their lives. And then finally, as I said before, we talked about Harry Seldon, how he's not really wanted there, and we get a look into his life that tells us the beginning of psychohistory. And I thought it was a bit strange to kind of detour into a completely different story, right? It was hinted at, earlier on in the episode that he had a secret, that was a terrible secret that he would, never want anyone to know. And to actually see that secret and it could have been its own single episode, to be quite honest, but they told it quite quickly in about 15 minutes or ish about what happened. And I have to say, like, it was a really strong, very interesting insight into Harry, and how he came to be the kind of the, let's call it, cold-blooded person who was needed to take psychohistory from a theory into a workable model, into an active plan to do something about the state of human affairs in a failing galactic empire. I found that all very fascinating, especially the fact that he's obviously he's not a saint. There's a lot of stupid or terrible things he's asked people or done to people, but saying like one of those first things where his idealism runs into the realities of kind of a tyrannical empire that as we've seen in this series before, they're already ready to just give up on entire populations of people, to destroy entire planets or ecosystems or anything in the service of what the Cleonic Empire wants, or just empire in general. So to then see this kind of play out on a smaller scale between Harry and his wife, I guess, partner and mother of his child, and how that all turned horrible and led him eventually to Trantor and to starting psychohistory in earnest. I think that was all very good, very interesting to see the lengths to which he would go to sort of get revenge, and have that all be bookended by basically his death at the hand of Tellem, who's got bigger plans for Gaal, for Salvor, for the Mentalics, and maybe somehow to do something about the mule, which she knows or thinks is probably true. So there's a lot, man. There's a bunch of stuff going on this episode. I mean, I really liked the first season of this show. And I thought, this season 2 started off a little slow, but man, in the last few episodes, they have really like put their foot on the gas, and they are doing, because there's a bunch of people involved and a lot of intersecting storylines that are leading up to this second crisis, this war between the Empire and the Foundation. They really kind of like accelerated everything. It feels like we're on the roller coaster, and we're sliding down this top hill, and we're headed for a pretty major event. So I'm very much looking forward to the next episode. Anyway, what did you guys think about it? What did you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there, and of course you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or @supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, do me a favor, hit like on that video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Helps more people to see this video, see these reviews, and see this channel. All right, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. We're going to talk about the 7th episode of Foundation. Until then, I've been Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.